There's a lot of strong feelings this week in Nodaway County. All the appeals for convicted murderer Lisa Montgomery have been denied. The only thing preventing her Tuesday scheduled execution from being carried out appears to be clemency from the White House or the Supreme Court stepping in. KQ2's Alan Van Zandt has more.
For those debating whether convicted murderer Lisa Montgomery should be executed next week as scheduled, there's no question of the feelings of the man who originally arrested her more than 16 years ago.
But I want to see it through. I need to see that through. I see her as a monster.
Nodaway County Sheriff Randy Strong was with the Maryville Police Department in 2004 and was part of the team investigating the death of Bobby Jo Stinnett, who at 8 months pregnant was murdered in her Skidmore home. Her unborn baby cut from her body. Montgomery then claimed the baby girl as her own, taking it back to her home in Melbourne, Kansas. Strong remembers his interrogation of Montgomery the day she was arrested, the next day after the murder.
When I looked down at her hands, I could actually see dried blood and tissue in her cuticles and under her nails.
In recent years, Strong has refused media interviews on the case. However, as Montgomery's execution looms, he's had a change of heart.
I was seeing all this attention given to Lisa Montgomery and what a terrible childhood she had, but very little talk on what happened to Bobby Jo and what happened to her family and what's still happening to her family.
Montgomery has been awaiting her execution in the federal penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana. Recently, there's been vocal support for clemency, saying Montgomery did not get a good defense in her original trial.
Society failed Lisa.
New lawyers have brought forward evidence that Montgomery faced repeated mental and physical abuse as a child, even being raped repeatedly by her father and his friends.
Lisa experienced unspeakable torture. It's not abuse, it's torture. And we know from science that that torture led to brain damage. And we know that there were multiple people who could have intervened.
However, for family and friends of Bobby Jo Stinnett who've had to live through the horror of the crime for the past 16 years, there's not much sympathy for Montgomery.
She's not the victim. Bobby Jo was, and her family is. And we want to make sure that people know that it was Bobby Jo who needs, and her family who need to receive closure on this.
Strong believes there's no doubt justice will be carried out with Montgomery's execution.
One of the most calloused, self-centered murderers I've ever dealt with.
Alan Van Zandt, KQ2 News.
Should the execution be carried out, Montgomery would become only the third woman executed by the federal government ever, and the first in more than 70 years.